I think we lost you, Dad.
You should know you're the one hunting me.
Quick work. Well done, Huntsman. Hand her over.
What do you intend to do with her?
Why do you care? You did your job well. Now keep your word.
Oh, that's Chris Hemsworth in Snow White and the Huntsman. It is the latest success story for the Aussie actor. The film is out on Thursday.
It is a cracker too. We saw it yesterday. It is a terrific movie. Chris Hemsworth joins us now. Welcome home, buddy. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Was this the best movie you've worked on so far?
It was. It was one of the most visually stunning sets and locations that I've ever been on. It was snow-capped mountains and real cathedrals all through Europe and castles, and there was a very little green screen, unlike with Thor and the Avengers. It was all on the stage. It was you lived and breathed it. It was beautiful.
Wow, the forest is incredible. Everything. The bit that we showed at the beginning when Kristen punches you. So tell me how real that was.
It wasn't meant to be real. It was meant to be a stunt, and it's funny. Each take, I could feel her punch kind of getting closer and closer, and then smack right in the nose. It spun me out of the shot, and if the fight was to continue, I didn't want any part of it. It was done. I was like, a sharp couple of knuckles you've got there.
And what did she say?
She started laughing, and then she started sort of almost, quite emotional. Like, I'm sorry, and then laughed. And then 2 days later, I saw her on David Letterman, a talk show, sort of bragging about it. So she had me there.
So how was it? Tell us about the rest of the cast. Charlize Theron is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful.
Oh yeah, as stunning and impressive as you'd imagine. And my actually first couple of days were supposed to be pretty minimal on set, and I arrived there and they had changed the schedule around, and so my first day ended up being with her in the throne room, this big sort of two-hander, and I never met her, let alone rehearsed or learnt the lines, and so I was kind of thrown in the deep end, but any bit of intimidation that I felt worked because the character was meant to be scared, and she was just, she's one of those people who, they're intimidating, but they bring you up, you want to rise to it.
So you learn a lot from them as well?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, just, I remember back with Thor, with Anthony Hopkins and Natalie Portman, the same thing, just watching those people work, and here with her, you just, you can't help but to absorb some of it. It's
fabulous.
Kristen Stewart, another one, really, really popular, and I say there's so many people outside that are big fans of hers. How was she to work with?
Fantastic, yeah. Had a really strong, dedicated sort of version of what she wanted to do with the character, and it was as big a film as it was, it felt quite small because most of the time it was Kristen and I, and then there's a small sort of crew and cast, and we travelled from obscure locations across Europe, together in this tight little unit, and it was wonderful. She had the same attitude and that I think everyone had, and ideas about the film, and we all sort of followed suit from there.
Yeah, because I found, as a bloke, I've found a bit wimpy characters, but in this film, when she sort of revs the night up, are you with me? You go, whoa, this is a strong woman.
It's not the Snow White we know, or the Kristen Stewart we know. I think this is by far the strongest thing that I've seen her, and certainly carries this the weight of the film. It was a darker version of the tale, and it needed to sort of live and breathe in reality, and it did, and her sort of strength and what have you was huge.
You carry the film, weight of the film as well.
We shared it with one of each other.
And you've got some amazing, Thor, the Avengers, this one, big roles. How has it changed your life? Has it, or are you, I don't know, trying to keep it the same?
Look, certainly more people recognise you, like especially when Avengers came out, that was the biggest movie of all time, and so most people, come in the street have seen it, but hugely positive, and the biggest thing is the freedom I have to pick and choose what I want to work on, and what it allows me to do. My sort of, private life is I don't know, I keep getting asked, what's changed, but it's if you, I think, keep a pretty normal life and family and friends, it is what it is.
Well, see, that's what we love about you, but all the Hemsworth boys, you're so down to earth. But look, when you look back, you grew up, at Phillip Island, on a cattle station in Arnhem Land. Do you think back, wow.
Yeah, most days, yeah.
I'm a Hollywood superstar.
Especially when my parents come over, they just came to London for actually a couple of premieres for this and for Avengers, and yeah, having them there and sort of all of us scratching our heads going, how did we end up here? How did this happen? And then crossing, you know, in different continents with Liam. He's on the Hunger Games press, and both of us going, you know, we're happy to be employed, let alone on this sort of level. And I think that, you know, that travel as kids, whether it be in Northern Territory or Phillip Island or, you know, throughout Melbourne, was what gave us that sense of adventure. You know, that's where it sort of kicked off, and I think, I don't know, that fascination and need for experience and all of it was sort of born.
Yeah.
But your older brother's also an actor. I mean, you guys have really achieved a lot, and considering all three of you have, so what sort of work ethics did your parents instill in you? Is that where it's come from, do you think?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was have fun, you know, and when most people sort of said, you know, it's crazy, what's your backup? You know, you can't go and you go to Hollywood and be an actor, and they said, look, you know, the couch will always be here, or the spare bedroom, and go and have fun and enjoy it, and if that changes, do something else. And that's certainly...
Your backup?
I don't know.
Do you remember what it was? Or is it so far down the track gone down?
Isn't it so important, your upbringing, though, that sets you up for life, and also for fatherhood?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I must admit, my wife saw this and said, wow, is that a natural father? Is that a natural father? No, I would not hold a couple-of-week-old baby, none of my 4 kids, like that after a few weeks.
I saw a quote in a newspaper with that photo, and it said, Thor carries a hot dog.
You're so confident.
Yeah, I mean, my older brother has 3 kids, and you know, we were around kids a lot growing up, and when I moved to California, I lived in my manager's guest house, and he had 3 kids, which I would babysit from time to time, and, you know, phone calls back to my parents going, yeah, how do I do this or change this? And, you know, I appreciate their trust in me, you know, my manager, and looking after his kids, but I was thrown in the deep end with that.
And family's obviously a big focus. Liam is getting married as well. So it's sort of, I guess it's a really nice thing to look at you guys and say that you're all normal and you're doing all those things that everybody else achieves.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it's what has sort of, you know, kept me grounded as family, and having a solid base and people to sort of hang on to in amongst it. Because there's times when you know, you see some wacky things in the business, and all the sort of stereotypes you hear about do exist, but there is a really normal side too, and the business full of really creative people, and it's about, you know, where you put yourself and who you surround yourself with. So.
Yeah, I must admit though, you were showing off a bit yesterday. Take a look at this, you know. Every bloke in the country is going, well, you put your shirt back on, mate, you're showing us up.
That's, I think that's Chris is here with his wife and new daughter, and neither of them are my wife and daughter. So that's my brother's wife and his kids. So.
Mum and Dad are up here with you at the moment from Phillip Island, because you're just up here for a couple of days. So is that a buzz to have them to the premiere today?
It's good, yeah, absolutely. I have about 60 people, I think, on my guest list. It's like, oh, you can bring, you know, 5 or 6 or 10, and I was like, well, I've got a few cousins, and a few friends and cousins and family, and the thing is, I only get home once a year, so it's kind of like quickly, you know, grab everyone, bring them in, and catch up quickly, 24 hours. So.
Do you ever get a sense of that Aussie pride that, you know, we all have?
Yeah, I love it. You know, it's certainly the press and audience I look forward to coming back and promoting a film with, because you have that the home crowd sort of support. It's nice.
Yeah, and everyone is so proud of what you've done, you and also
and Luke,
Big Brother in Bikie Wars is sensational.
Yeah, thank you. He had a lot of fun shooting that, and I was talking to him during the shooting schedule, and I've managed to catch little clips on YouTube, you know, when I've been overseas.
It's terrific.
I think he's going to come to the States, I think, sometime this year and catch up and start auditioning.
Talented bunch, you guys.
Thank you.
Are you ever going to do a wimpy role?
At the moment, I don't know. I did a film with Ron Howard, a Formula 1 movie.
Oh, I read about that, yeah.
Based on James Hunt and Nicky Lauda in the 70s, and that was fantastic. A far more sort of intimate, smaller project, and you know, very passionate era, and this character the same, and kind of everything was done at 110%, including his sort of drinking and
that's not
whatever else. It's different. You don't have to cut you from this.
Mate, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Continued success.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Snow White and the Huntsman is in cinemas on Thursday. It is beautiful, so we really enjoyed it yesterday. It is gorgeous, so well worth catching. And we're going to chat to Kristen Stewart tomorrow on Sunday.
Looking forward to that. News is next. You're watching Sunrise, home of the star.